me see your hair.
Hello.
I feel like it looks fine to me, but I feel like you're going to say something about it.
Hello.
Because there's a bump.
Okay, well then that's not fine. Now is it?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
I have Dylan back here. I know he wasn't in my wedding one, but...
I'm not a part of the wedding. I'm just here.
Anyway, today we decided to talk about some things, well, not some things, just kind of like our thoughts on premarital counseling, because that's what we're currently going through right now. So we kind of made like a, an outline of like what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm sure we'll probably do a part 2 to this.
Oh yeah, farther
You know, once we like go through more sessions, because we only had 2 sessions.
And one was an intro, so
yeah,
it kind of counts, kind of doesn't.
Yeah, so we'll probably do a part 2 as it gets like closer to like getting married and all that, which is crazy.
Okay, so pretty much our first 2 sessions, first one was the intro, second one was actually like our first meeting where we discussed the first chapter in our book. So we're not like doing it like completely formally or like through like, typically you do it with the person that is marrying you. But since the person that is marrying us is actually her uncle, which is also our pastor or whatever, we decided that we wanted to try to keep family out of it. We actually went up to him and requested that we had one of the elders or whatever marry us.
He's like the youth pastor, I think, technically. Yeah. But yeah, he's an elder at the church. He's a really awesome guy, and we get along with him good. So
yeah. If you do have the same situation, I'd definitely like talk to them first. Don't just like assume that you can go, because some pastors greatly like will not marry you unless if you like go through marriage counseling with them.
Yeah.
So, but like he was extremely understanding, and I greatly appreciate that personally. And, yeah, and like if you do like have to pick someone else, make sure you pick someone that you both respect. Not only the person that's marrying you,
yes,
but
someone that you both like too. Because if only one of you like him or her, or whatever, and like you're not gonna be honest, and it's just not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I feel like make sure you're on the same page about premarital counseling, because I know we were kind of, not iffy about it, but just kind of like skeptical or whatever, and like, so being on the same page, like, okay, we're going to do this, and like going in with the intent that we're going to learn something, and this, we're going to grow and go in like thinking like how can I learn, what can I learn today, totally changes your time being there, so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, take the coffee. Anyways, so that's kind of how we started. So they're hour sessions, whatever. So our first one was the intro. It was an hour session, and that was more or less just like, he was kind of giving us a rough outline of like how this is going to work or whatever. So we shared
our testimony just so he could get to know us better.
Yeah.
And our relationship better.
Yep. So yeah, we, kind of just like explained where we're at in our faith or whatever, and where we're at with each other, then and how we came to faith and stuff. And he was very open about his and stuff, and like shared his testimony as well. So, which again for me, that's like a major thing, whatever, to like see how like the struggles he had in his life and how we can relate and stuff. And I think it was just that personal connection or whatever, because I know like, especially coming into it, like you don't want to always like tell them all your flaws. It's like, he's not a stranger, but in the way he kind of is. But like just whenever like after hearing him open up and stuff, especially and stuff, you just really feel like it's only right for you to open up, and like you're supposed to be able to like trust him and like respect, and like it is under actually he's not technically allowed to go talk to other people about it if that's your fear or whatever.
Yeah, it's confidential meeting, and just making sure you're open from the start, because just do that. Like, that'll be so much better for you guys, and just, like, building that honesty and trust from the beginning, because, like, let's say at the first meeting we had hid something from him, and then at the 5th meeting decided to bring it up, he'd probably be like, okay, well, what else are you hiding? Like, just totally do that from the beginning. It'll be way better.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely not a thing I do. The information you share with me makes me a more personal assistant, but you can control what's shared and adjust what data is stored under your data in the assistant.
How do you unplug it?
Also, guys, we're gonna try to be as thorough as we can with like explaining just details of like getting married and stuff, like in regards to like premarital counseling and all that, because I feel like people will tell you, yes, do premarital counseling, it's awesome, but then they don't tell you what you talk about and what's going on and like what you're gonna do, because I was like kind of nervous going into it, like are they just gonna like yell at us the whole time and like don't do this, or like you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. Like I just had no idea. So just we're really gonna just try to show you guys like, okay, this is actually what we're learning, not saying yours is going to be the exact same, but just to kind of help, I don't know, help you understand better, because I know like I had no idea.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yeah, some of the major like questions or whatever, like I think all the ones that you're always like scared about is like, well, they're gonna ask us how far we went and stuff, and ours actually did whatever. As my brother actually went through whatever. He they never asked him whatever.
Really?
Yeah. But
Okay,
him and his wife, they never actually asked.
Really?
So, yeah. So
he didn't, well, ours didn't straight up ask, how far have you gone, did he?
yeah, he did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, everyone's different. Just make
Yeah.
sure you, I appreciate the fact that he asked. I figured he was going to, and that's fine.
Yep.
Just expect that, and if they don't, just tell them and be honest, because then that's like another form of accountability for you in regards to like purity and stuff, which is really helpful.
It's extreme accountability, and like he told us that whatever, he said that he will be asking us how we are doing on that every time we meet.
And we meet every other week now until we're married.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not even, you have a long period of time to like, oh, it was a few weeks ago, like it's fine. Like, no, like, yeah.
So even if that's like what's stopping you, that's great. Like that's playing in the back of your head. Like, okay, yeah. So anyways, that's kind of wraps up the first meeting.
He did give us this book called Tying the Knot by Rob Greene. We're not extremely far into it because we're just kind of taking it chapter by chapter.
Yep.
But it does have questions at the back of each chapter that you can go through with each other. And I've seen good I don't remember what I read that I was like, ooh, that's good. But I know there was stuff that I was like, it kind of hits you like, oh, like I don't practice that and I should. And yeah, even just learning ways. We talked about our second meeting. Was it more about arguing?
Yeah, I'd say it leans a bit about arguing or whatever.
And it kind of like he asked us practical, like we gave him examples like, okay, this was an argument, and then like he'll ask us, okay, how did you respond? How did you respond? And like just kind of showing, okay, how should have you responded? And so even stuff like that is just very practical and helpful because, you know, tell us how to learn and respond better and stuff. So.
Also, a major thing that we learned, or well, I personally learned, was is actually not wrong to have expectations. So like,
oh yeah, that was a big.
Yeah, expectations, whatever. Like, I don't know. I've always kind of learned to have don't have them, whatever. So you can't like actually be let down. But it's what's wrong is how. It's the way you react to those expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Were they met? Okay, well then that's great. Then are you rejoicing in it? Were they not met? Okay, well are you upset about it? Are you bothered by it or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Then are you like going to God about it? Are you actually like not just throwing a fit or whatever? And like he gave several like very I would say straight up
examples. Yeah. The one that he said that stood out to me was like, okay, obviously I'll have an expectation Dylan's going to be home for dinner at 5 o'clock. Well, one day he comes home at 5:30. 30 minutes to have hot food waiting is a big deal to me, but how am I going to choose to respond to that? Because I was expecting him to be home at 5, which was a good thing because I needed to have dinner done. But when that expectation wasn't met, then how am I going to respond? And obviously, Dylan shouldn't be coming home at 5:30 every day. Unless he tells me, obviously, but like, you know, so there's obviously some balance, but when it does happen, the expectations are not met, how are you gonna choose to respond, like, you know?
So, yeah, stuff like that, I think, is just, like, a very, very valuable takeaways or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, Bailey's already covered what book. We're supposed to be reading another book. I can't remember the name of it. Well, we're just reading like little sections out of it, but that's...
It's called Intended for Pleasure, but we'll talk about that later.
So then, how are we growing? So I think we've kind of like already like some of the takeaways is kind of how we're growing from it and learning from it, and just like again like being open is like a really big thing, and like just learning and just being able to like grow in the way of like, yes, you're supposed to be open with each other, but also like having an accountability partner or whatever. And yeah, you have each other, but like you also just need other people, and just having him as an accountability partner is just like huge or whatever, I think, for us.
So one thing that so he gave us this printout of just different questions to go through with like by yourself and then talk about them with each other. And so we did, and there's a bunch of random questions on here. One of them says, does it matter to you that he or she regularly dines on popcorn and brownies after work? And I was like, Dylan was like, what did you say? Did you say no?
I say no, but up to like a certain point it'd get really annoying.
Yeah, like for me, I was like, yeah, I probably would say something. Like, and yeah, this is I just already know, like, even like he loves milk, and so we're gonna go through milk so fast, which I think is gonna be annoying to me. But like, I already know what's gonna happen, and so even just like, he's gonna come home from work and have a big glass of milk, and am I gonna say something about it? Like, because he enjoys milk. I have coffee every day, and he doesn't say a darn thing about it. So, oh, and then this one, are you willing to make an issue of his unwillingness to get an annual physical? It's like stuff that doesn't matter, but I know that would bother me. Like, if I'm like, he hasn't been to the doctor in 2 years to get a checkup, like, I know I would say something. And that's just like my heart and my sin. And so, overall, I've enjoyed the meetings, and I'm learning things about myself, and like dumb things that I'm like, oof, yeah, I probably would make a big deal about that. So.
Yeah. I'd say our thoughts on it is it's good, really beneficial. Was it worth it? I'd say for sure. Just like, it really like, you really like get out of it what you put into it.
Yes.
So if you're just lying about everything and just like holding everything back, whatever, you're not going to get much out of it. It's almost worthless for you to go. Not completely worthless, definitely still go, but like, still, if you're just really not like being honest and open to them because like you're scared of anything, well then, yeah, you're really, really not going to get a ton out of it.
So if you're engaged or getting married or going to be getting engaged, definitely consider doing it. Actually, just do it, because it'll be so good for your faith and just your walk together and growing you. And especially if you haven't known each other a super long time, it'll definitely help deepen your relationship. So, 10 out of 10 would recommend. But yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2 to this as it gets farther along and as we're learning more and stuff. So, I think that's all for today's video. So, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.